Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back. I am your hostess, Cindy Murray, and I am here today with my usual cohorts, Amber Garvin and Kristen Hessler.
Hello.
Hey.
And we are having a debate here, and we're talking midsummer. This is an important thing. We all like to go get our pedicures, our manicures, so we look all nice, if we're in our sandals and all that. But what if you could only have one? What if you could only have one? Which one would you choose? And why? I know it's such an important
I know.
topic
I was
of
like,
discussion.
wow, you're very assuming saying it's important and that we all like to do that.
Yeah.
Well,
but there are people who are like, I have to have my manicure. I have to have my
there
manicure.
are some people who do not go without
Right.
manicure.
And I'm kind of weird about that. Like, well, I don't want to give y'all my answer yet. I want to let y'all talk about it. So.
Okay, if we're going with the context of summer and you're wearing sandals and your feet are out and everything like that, then maybe I want to think pedicure. However, if you're going, summer's only like a couple of months for me out of the year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, here in Texas, it's all but a couple of months of the year.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, my summer is only a couple of months. Actually,
that's true, because you can't wear those open-toed shoes.
Yeah,
at
7 weeks, pretty much. Not even a whole full 2 months. 7 weeks. And so I'm going to say Mani because, especially in the context of the rest of the year, Mani is what I like the most. If I went to the place and I was like, well, I can only pay for one, I would go for Mani instead of Pedi.
Okay. And why is that?
Because I don't know. So I live now where nail places are readily available.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
And
like every corner.
So I've become one of those girls where I have to have my nails pretty.
Okay.
Whether it's like dip nails or whatever, or just painted nails. I like to have my nails done for the most part. But it's weird. Like, that's just during the school year. Summertime, I'm looking at my nails and they're just plain. So
you're
school
concentrating
year,
on your feet. Yeah.
Yeah, summer I concentrate on my feet. Winter, fall, whatever, I concentrate on my nails.
Kristen?
So it's interesting because you're talking about manicures and pedicures, and Amber's talking about like nails specifically. That's actually two very distinct things, a manicure and getting your nails.
They
and
actually are.
If you go into a nail salon and ask for a French manicure, which is like the most common acrylic nail style that there could have been for like decades, probably, it seems like you don't actually really get a manicure when you get those nails. When you get acrylic nails,
they don't do the whole hand rub thing.
Yeah,
no. Like that.
And they used to.
And I like getting, I used to get the acrylic nails, but now I do like the dip, and I've done less shellac, and sometimes I just like to get them painted. But if I'm just getting them painted, I'll ask for a manicure because they will paint your nails and give you a manicure. But nail polish never sticks. I have really slick fingernails. And so I always like to get the dip, in which case I'm not going to pay for a manicure and the dip, so I get the nails and just let my cuticles and calluses
$15 extra or whatever.
Yeah, and my mom is the opposite.
I am. Okay, so here's what, but you did not say whether you would have.
No, I just wanted to make a point that that's an additional thing. So when I think about hands, if I want a manicure and nails, to me that's even more expensive. That's about $65 instead of $45.
I guess I never thought of it that way because I I know I'm just so used to getting my dip nails that I'm never like, they do cuticle oil and rub my hands a little bit, but it's never like
They
a
usually
whole
push-
big thing.
Yeah, they'll push your cuticles back so that they can treat your nails. But I mean, sometimes they don't even like trim your nails very nicely.
Yeah.
They just like cut them down and slap some stuff on them.
Oh,
and
they
and
just
they're
no,
rough
man.
and-
They
well, I get tips too. So, but yeah, they are rough and they'll like Dremel the dickens out of your fingers.
Don't
and,
let them Dremel your nails.
I know. Yeah, but no, you don't get a wrist massage or elbow cream
No, yeah,
or
okay.
any of that when you get just
And I
nails.
have a whole different perspective on that too. So,
Yeah.
as I've mentioned before on the podcast, I was at one point in time a licensed cosmetologist. So I went to school. I spent a lot of time learning about manicures and pedicures. It was my favorite thing to do, actually. And this is in the time period before they really had like the pop-up corner nail salons and stuff. So people were going to the salon to have them done. And so no matter whether you got tips or sculpted nails, which is what we called those back then when they build a nail for you out of the liquid.
The acrylics.
Yeah, the acrylic. You always got a manicure as part of your service. And same thing with your foot. When you go get your toenails done, you get a whole pedicure.
Yeah.
You get the massage and you get the buffing and the cuticles, and the nails cleaned and filed and all that stuff. But they don't do that anymore when you get your nails done, unless you buy that
Pay
separate
extra
project.
for it. Yeah.
And that really bugs me, for one. And I'm really, really picky when I go into a nail salon. I will often tell them that I am a licensed or have been a licensed professional, because when I fail to do that, I find them doing big bad no-nos, like dropping utensils on the ground and picking them up and continuing to use them. Dremeling your nails, which they're not supposed to Dremel your natural nail.
Okay, so what is that?
Dremeling?
What's dremeling? Yeah.
Okay, do you know what a Dremel tool is?
No.
Okay, it's
Like a
like
sandpaper
a
drill.
small drill.
Okay, a drill. Okay.
And it has sandpaper or a hard
Buff.
barrel on it that has grit to it, and they use it to sand your nail down.
And they're not supposed to do that?
You're not supposed to do that. That is so bad for your nail, because
they do
you're
it-
wearing your nail thin.
Yeah, they do that because it's faster.
It's faster
than
than
using
to
the little block.
remove the old acrylic or the old shellac or whatever the proper way. And there are proper ways to do that. And they don't do it. And I catch them doing all these things all the time. Like going in, and people have ingrown toenails and they will remove the ingrown toenails and things like that. They're not supposed to do that either. That is a medical procedure. But I see them doing that on people all the time. So I always tell them.
That's another reason why I don't like to get pedicures, because I have a toenail that sometimes goes ingrown, and the last time I got a pedicure, she dug in.
Yes, and they're
to
not
my nail,
supposed to do that.
and I do my own pedicures mainly
and
because of that.
I will tell you, the biggest cause of those ingrown toenails is cutting your toenails too short.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people do that. They think it's supposed to be really short, but it's not. And they say, well, that's how I keep from getting the ingrown toenail. But no. The way you keep from getting the ingrown toenail is to let the nail grow past the point where it starts to grow into your skin.
And there are ways, to keep that.
Yeah, you keep it cleaned underneath it and all that. But the nail techs are not supposed to use their utensils to dig those out.
Yeah,
that
and it
is
really
a
hurt
medical.
my toe.
Yes, it does, and it often makes it infected and things like that. And that is a medical procedure that should be done in a podiatrist's office. And a podiatrist will do that for you, but you should never let your manicurist, pedicurist do that for you. So that's why I say I'm very cringy about the services that I get at salons, at any salon, even hairdressers, because I know, and even though it's been a long time since was in practice, there are certain things that are always appropriate and always inappropriate, and those I catch them doing those things all the time, and it makes me crazy. So that's one of the things that I can't stand that.
I know you also don't like getting your calluses rubbed off the bottoms of your feet on a pedicure, but that's actually like why I get pedicures.
There's multiple reasons for that. And I don't mind them using like just scuffing on them a little bit. Like with the I can't remember what
the buff tool,
the little buff tool. But I don't want them using the shaver on it to shave that skin off. Your feet have calluses for a reason. It's to protect your delicate bones and the tissues in your foot. That callus developed because you don't want to injure that foot and keep bruising it and things. And also, when I was walking in the Susan G. Komen 3-day, that's one of the things that when you're training to run like marathons or long walks like those and stuff like that, they teach you to not shave those calluses off, because those calluses are what keep you from getting blisters and things, and that it just builds up that hard callus to help protect the tissue inside your foot. And there are ways to keep that callus from being hard and coarse and peely or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to shave it off. So I'm really particular about that too. Like I say, I don't mind them buffing it a little bit, just to get the rough edges off. But usually a good buffing, exfoliation is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And some lotion and keeping your feet moist and covered and not walking barefoot will help keep you from getting those cracked, gross feet,
On the flip side, though, like, isn't walking barefoot like the ultimate thing that you can do for your foot, because we're not really supposed to wear shoes?
Well, and that's a big debate amongst even podiatrists and
we'll see. Our ancestors didn't wear shoes,
right? They did not, but also they weren't standing all day. They also were not as heavy as we are.
True.
Our weight contributes a lot to our foot problems, and thus we require the arch support of shoes to help balance the weight of our feet so that we don't have foot problems. And so there is a lot of debate about that. I used to be a barefoot person all the time, or socks, to keep my feet from getting scuffed and rough. But I found that as I got older and heavier, that actually made my feet worse. So I hardly ever go barefoot anymore. If I'm walking around, I'll just wear some comfortable shoes that have a little bit of arch support. I tend to prefer my Crocs because they're wide-toed and they give my feet a lot of breathing room. They're more like being without a shoe than... But supposedly, and there are some doctors who will say walking barefoot's the best thing you can do for you. But if you're going to do that, you've got to get the weight off so that your weight is distributed properly on your feet. You can't be heavy and do that. So that's a big debate.
I like being barefoot, and the downside to being barefoot is that your feet tend to be a little bit drier.
Yes, they do.
The sweat immediately evaporates. Carpet
absorb all your oils in your feet and things like that.
And so back to the original debate. If I had to choose, which I often do have to choose because I'm kind of a frugal and budget type person, and especially now that I'm married and have a kid, I'm like, okay, my family could use this $40 for something else. So I kind of just got rid of manicures and pedicures. Every once in a while I'll go get a pedicure now because if my feet start getting like really dry, it's kind of hard for me to get like my feet always in good shape. So I will just go pay someone to do it for me.
Well, it took me like a while of having a foot routine, kind of like, I know we were talking about like shower and skin routines in a earlier episode.
Yeah.
But it took me a while of having a foot routine. I went on Amazon and I bought like a little scraper, sandery type thing, like they would have in the store. And once a week, I soak my feet and I exfoliate my feet. And so I've found, and I may like a little scrape a little bit of like anything hard and gross looking. And I've found that I don't have to have a pedicure as often because I take care of my feet once a week.
Yeah. And
and then lotion them at night, of course.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I used to, because I was a cosmetologist, I always liked having my nails and my feet look nice. And, when I was younger, that was when I was going to cosmetology school, we practiced on each other a lot. So, and I just got used to having my nails done and having my toes done, or whatever. And so I just always have done it. But in the interest of being frugal, that was some of the things that I gave up a while back. I used to go twice a month for a manicure and once a month for a pedicure. And I do my own little kind of spot treatments in between as well, because I'm I deal with paper a lot. I write, I craft, I have a business, and I handle paper. Paper is very drying to your skin. And I wind up with lots of little paper cuts and hangnails and things like that. And if there's anything there that's hanging, it'll rip. I'll pick at it, whatever. So I liked having that done. But in the interest of, saving a little money, I just decided that I will mostly do what I can at home. So I go very occasionally to go get a pedicure, usually for a trip or some other special or a girl's day or something like special occasion. And I'll go get a pedicure, and I just try to make that pedicure last as long as I can. I treat it really delicately and touch it up as needed or whatever. And then, but I hardly ever go get a manicure anymore or get my nails done. And what I found was that I could purchase the ultraviolet light and the shellac and do them myself. And I was a licensed cosmetologist, so I know how to do it, but I'm not really sure why that is only a licensed thing other than the contamination. I mean, it's just basically nail polish and ultraviolet light. So it's not like the dips. It's not like the sculpting where there's, health hazards involved. So
you can buy the sculpting stuff at the grocery store. Too.
You can. Well, and
I've done it myself.
Well, you can buy perms and hair. You can buy
kind of scary looking when I did it myself.
You can buy perms and hair color at the store and do those yourself as well. Yeah. But for some reason, some of the shellac brands, you are only allowed to buy them if you have a license. And so that's kind of a tricky thing, and I'm not sure why they do that. It may be a choice of the manufacturer to make those a salon only thing. I don't know, but I do the shellacs myself. I frequently go without, just to let my nails breathe. I never Dremel. I only use the acetone to remove them by soaking with the cotton ball wrapped in foil, or I actually have the little clamps that go on your finger, and you put the acetone on a cotton ball and just clamp the little thing on your finger, and it comes right off if you leave it on long enough. And it's not very long either. So I do that. I miss getting a really nice manicure because I have terrible hangnails and bad cuticles and all that. But it's a cost measure, and so I think if I had to, I technically have only one, and it's usually my pedicure, because it's harder for me to give myself pedicure
than
it is to, I can't massage my feet really, because
It's not the same.
Well, you can't give yourself the same amount of pressure in that massage. I don't have the nice swirly little whirlpool to put my feet in, and the massage chair, and and they do the salt scrub and the hot stones and the wax, and but even beyond that, it's really hard when you're my age to bend over and reach your toes. It really is. So, I mean, I try to keep my toenails filed and clean, and keep my cuticles back, but I can't paint my toenails to save my life because I can't get them up where I can see them.
Yeah.
So, it's like, so it's better just to let somebody else do it. But the manicures, I do those to myself all the time because I can't stand, for my nails to be jagged or crooked or have, little things hanging off of them. And so I just do those myself. So that's my, if there could only be only one,
it would be a pedicure.
It would be that pedicure.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So,
y'all are making me want to go get a pedicure now.
But technically, I mean, like, really, if it was like I could only have only one, and that means excluding even being able to do them myself at home, I would have to go with the manicure because I don't care what my toes look like. Well, I do care what my toes look like, but I can hide my toes in some socks and shoes, but my hands are, you can see them all the time. So if I had to have only one, even if I was doing it myself, it would be the manicure because I can't stand to have those little bits of cuticle hanging off of there and little, crusty paper cuts and snags and crooked, I'm looking right now at one of my nails and it's kind of crooked because it tore and it's just making me crazy. It's all I can do not to just cut it all off.
Yeah, which is why I don't have fingernails.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I wear the shellac, because there's something about doing the shellac on my hands that keeps me from doing what you're doing right now,
which is biting my nails.
Which is biting your nails. And I will bite. I don't necessarily chew on my nail, but I will chew on those cuticles, and I will pick at the cuticles. Yep. And as long as the nail is nice and hard and painted, I will sit. My fidgeting will involve feeling how slick the nail is instead of picking at the things.
That is the worst. Whenever you get like a dip or a tip or something, and
there's a rough edge
when it goes up underneath and it has like
that crustiness. Or
you just want to pick it. I can't stand that. I will pick at it and pick at it and pick at it,
and then it'll peel. Yeah. So and that was one of the things we were talking about, getting the pedicure, or getting the manicure, and how sometimes the nail techs are just in such a hurry they don't really do the fine filing and shaping of your nails, and so they'll leave like a little rough edge, and then they'll just paint over it, and it's like, okay, now I can't do anything with it because if I file it, it's going to file that edge off of the polish, and the polish will peel. So, yeah, that really just drives me crazy.
Yeah, but I don't ever have problems with a pedicure afterwards.
I don't either, but that's because I don't touch my toes.
Yeah.
I really don't.
I mean that nail polish will stay on there forever.
Oh, yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going on like month 3 right
now. You gotta be
Yeah.
careful with that too, because fungus can grow
you can get
between
fungus,
the nail
but also,
and the polish.
Well, and a lot of times people think that what they have is a fungus, and it's not a fungus. It's just that your nail gets really dehydrated, and you'll pull that polish off, and you'll see all these white spots, and that's where the nail has not had any moisture. So that's why it's always good to go, take that polish off and let it go a few days, and really doctor your nail bed with some lotion and stuff, and make sure that it's well hydrated before you and can breathe for a while before you put polish back on it. So yeah.
Okay, will do.
Oh, I have a question. If you were getting both mani and a pedi, do you do matching color?
I usually don't. I usually go for a neutral color on my toes that goes with everything, because I, for one, wear it longer, and I just want it to not clash, I guess. I don't know.
Neutral, like those beigey mauve colors?
No, I usually go with like a silver or a white.
Oh, that kind of neutral.
Or or a
See, I'm the opposite. I like bright colors on my
Same.
toes, and I like a neutral color on my fingers.
I go for whatever the colors are of the season. So, like in November and October, it'll be like an orange or like a purpley burgundy color. In the spring, I'll go for the pastels. At Christmas time,
I do
it'll
that
be
with
like
my
holiday
nails,
colors.
with my hands, but on my feet, I usually don't even get my toenails done or paint on them. Except during the summer when I'm wearing sandals.
Right.
So in the fall and stuff, I just let my toes be nude unless we're going on a trip. And then I will, paint my toenails to probably match the season in some ways also. Like at Christmas, I think I had red toenail polish on. Maybe.
Yeah, I've never really followed the seasonal colors. It's whatever I'm feeling at the time. Or if I'm gonna get a manicure and I'm getting it for a special occasion, like say when I had engagement photos done several months ago, I picked a color that went with my dress that I was wearing.
And I have done that too. Like when Kristen got married, I picked one of her colors was rose gold, so I got rose gold nails. Just so they would look. And I think we had pedicures then too, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. And I think I matched then. But
Yeah, because I got rose gold kind of color also.
Yeah. But like at Christmas, sometimes I'll do like red nails and green toenails or vice versa. But in the summer, I tend to use like either the white glitter or silver glitter or a white pearl or something like that, where you can tell they're nice, they're neat, they're well kept, but not necessarily loud, and they don't clash with my clothes, because that's one thing I cannot stand to see is polish that's in a different color family from the clothes that you're wearing. It's like wearing the wrong color of lipstick and eyeshadow. I don't know. It's just
it looks kind of messy.
It does.
So have you guys heard of Jamberry?
Yes.
I've
done
they're
those.
based out of Utah.
Oh, really?
My ex-husband used to work for them.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. So Jamberry, and there's a whole bunch of other. Isn't there one
Color
called
Street.
Color Street?
Color Street.
Yep.
Yes.
And then there's some you can get at the grocery store now.
Yeah, grocery
But
store.
if you don't know what those are, they're like these little sheets of
nail polish. It is
that
nail
you
polish.
put on your finger, and then I think you use like the blow dryer, right? To heat
The
them up?
Jamberry uses a heat thing like a blow dryer to heat them up. I think the Color Street just goes on and sticks without the heat.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that brand. I've only tried Jamberry, and then I have some in my nail polish bucket that I bought last year around Halloween at Walmart. And Raina and I saw them, and we were like, "Ooh, let's do them." And then I never sat down to do them because I'm a fidgeter, so my hands are always doing stuff. So I don't ever want to take the time to sit still and paint my nails.
I'm not a fan. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
The Jamberry ones did not stick to my finger as well as I wanted, and they seemed like they were a little more work because you shrink them down and then you file it. And I had problems with those peeling. The Color Street ones, though, oddly enough, I bought some at the vendor at the Holistic Fair last year, I think it was, and I got a tear in my nail, and it was down in the quick, and I didn't have any silks to patch my nail, so I put one of those on there, and it held my nail together until it grew out.
Oh wow.
So I was pretty happy with that, because that was a nice fix, and because I just did it on the one finger, it looked like I did an accent finger, not that it didn't look like it just looked like I did it on purpose, so and I liked it, and it was very easy to apply, and like I said, that one didn't have any heat applied to it or anything. You just
Oh.
cut it to the right shape and stick it on.
I guess
And,
I always thought of Color Street as like a knockoff Jamberry.
Well, they kind of are, but like I said, I don't think you use the heat. They don't use the heat to apply them. So, so that was one thing I liked about it. But they are, like I said, a good way to patch that broken nail or whatever to keep it from tearing further. I mean, mine was so far down in the quick, it would have left a bloody scar if it had continued to tear, and I had to do something because it kept snagging on everything, and and I didn't want to just leave it. So, and I didn't want to stick a Band-Aid on it or something. So that was a good fix. Yeah.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah, I have the Halloween ones, so they're kind of like limited to just because they have like bats and stuff on them. But I've thought about going and getting like some other colors and just saving those for Halloween. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do them.
I bought some
all year.
Halloween all year long.
I bought some really cute little Christmas ones at Christmas too that I was going to put on over my colored polish.
Oh.
They were like little they were clear, but they had like little Christmas trees in them, like painted in them. And I was going to do that, and I completely forgot. Well, I think, like I said, I think if I had to only choose the one, I would go with the pedicure, which is what I'm doing right now anyway. But if I couldn't even go get the pedicure and I had to choose only one to do by myself, it would be the manicure. So, and I guess y'all said what yours were. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Pedicure every couple of months maybe. And, well, I guess I don't really get a manicure. I just get
You
the
give
dip
one
nails.
to yourself. Yeah.
I
You
give
get
one
your
to
nails.
myself,
Yeah.
She gets the nails.
Yeah. And I, like I say, I miss having those manicures because I do like somebody else to pay really close attention to my cuticles and stuff, but I can do that. I can do it at home. So that's what I do. I'd like to hear from our listeners. Do you get manicures, pedicures, get your nails done? Do you like dips or shellacs or French tips, or, do you have a preference of what you like to do? I know a lot of women just do the natural nail too, so, I'd like to hear from our listeners what you like, and you can either leave some comments on our blogs or over on our Facebook group, MMC Chat, that you can get to from our Modern Musings Facebook group.
Hop on over there and take the poll.
Yeah, and we'll put a poll up there. That'll be great. And then, just kind of, let us know what you think. And give us some likes and share us around. We'd like to help get the word out about our little podcast.
And leave us a review.
Yeah, leave some reviews, all that jazz. Like, subscribe, all of the above. I'd like to give a shout out to Cake Mix Studios and Creative Audio Tech for our equipment and our music. Our theme music is so wonderful, and we love it. If you need theme music, give Creative Audio Tech a shout. You can find the links on our website, and we'll be back next week.
Yeah, what are we talking about next week?
Next week is Amber is our hostess.
And we're talking about color symbolism next week.
Oh, that's that. You know what? Maybe we can go back into the nails because you were talking about your colors and your nails.
Yeah. Maybe so.
All right. So that's it. Come back next week for color symbolism, and we'll be back then.
Bye.
Bye.